Hey, what's up, guys? I've been wanting to do this video for y'all for quite a while, and it's going to be some tips on how to clean your rifle, all right? Specifically a M4 AR-15 style rifle. We shot this one on the range the other day. Actually, a student was shooting this gun, and he shot it suppressed for I think it was about 4 hours worth of shooting. I don't know how many hundreds of rounds he put through it, but it got really, really dirty. If you want to zoom in on this, Blake, you can just see all the carbon buildup on the bolt there, all along the bottom of the bolt, down in the chamber, them feed ramps, trying to get them in the sun. You see how dirty them feed ramps are, and even just all, I mean, it is just absolutely filthy. The lower, I mean, really that whole trigger assembly needs to come out, because it is just, it's a mess. So this is a very dirty gun. It's so dirty that the gun began to malfunction quite a bit toward the end of our day of training. The main thing that was causing it to malfunction was those feed ramps. They've got so much carbon built up on them, the bolt was having trouble pushing the rounds up those dirty feed ramps into the chamber. So that's got to be cleaned out. Everything's got to be cleaned. So I'm going to show y'all how to do that, the steps to doing it. What's up, YouTube? This episode is going to be brought to you by our partners at Barbell Apparel. As you see this morning, we've been getting after it, man, and I have my custom Barbell Apparel jorts on, right? Now, they don't sell these. They sell them in the jeans version, but I'm getting ready for the summertime down here in Georgia, so I just went ahead and did a custom cut on these babies, and let me tell you right now, I'm ready for the summer heat. Come on with it, man. The good thing about Barbell jeans is they stretch. They're not stiff. You don't have to freaking wash them 300 times to where they finally get broke in enough to where they're comfortable, and then by the time they're comfortable, they're worn out and they're ready for the garbage can. These jeans, right out of the bag, they move with you, they stretch. You can work out in them, you can run in them, you can go to the range in them, or you can go out to dinner in them because they look good, right? Barbell's been an amazing partner for us here at 307 Project for a long, long time. They actually empower us to be able to keep this channel up and running week after week after week. Our partners are important, and I just ask that you guys, if you get anything out of this channel and the content that we put out, go get you a pair of Barbell jeans, a t-shirt, go get you a pair of running shorts from Barbell, whatever it may be, whatever fits you in your walk of life. I guarantee you they've got something for you that's gonna make you comfortable, that's gonna make you look good, and ultimately make you happy. So if you get anything out of this channel, go check them out at barbellapparel.com and get you something. Love you guys. Enough said. We're gonna have to go through a full clean on this jewel. I wouldn't normally, you know, go through the full process, but it's so dang dirty that it's got to be completely broken down. So we'll start with the upper. I'll just take the bolt carrier group out, the charging handle, and the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a couple of these cleaning patches here, and I'm gonna soak them in CLP, and I'm gonna run them down the barrel just so this stuff starts breaking up all that carbon and crap that's built up in the barrel. The reason that this gun got so dirty is because we were shooting it suppressed. And when you shoot a rifle suppressed, at least a gas impingement rifle, that's what they call it, right, tech guy?
Yeah.
Gas impingement.
Direct impingement.
Direct impingement. All that gas, extra gas from shooting suppressed, blows back into the bolt carrier group, and they get dirty as crap, man. So I'm just gonna let that barrel sit with that CLP in it while I do the rest of this stuff. I'm just gonna take in this upper receiver here, and I'm just gonna coat all that crap down in CLP and let it sit for a minute. We'll start taking this bolt carrier group apart. Yeah, so all this, all that carbon right there, that's what we want to scrape off. And the reason you want to use this brass scraper is because you don't want to use metal that's as hard or harder than the actual bolt, because you're going to scrape the surface of the bolt up. That's why you use that. And this gun's so dirty, we're going to go ahead and take this extractor out too, just so we can clean that up. See how dirty that, yeah, look at that, man. That's, I mean, good night, Blake. I mean, really, to be honest with you, that whole trigger assembly needs to come out. We're not going to take that out on this video. Look how dirty that buffer tube is. But that, really, that whole trigger assembly needs to come out, and this just needs to all be brushed out and blown out. But I ain't fooling with that today. It'll work. Good night. We'll just brush those down. I'm just going to spray some CLP down in there and brush that crap out here in a minute. Alright, we're going to let this sit for a few minutes, and then we'll be back and we'll scrub it all down and start cleaning it up. Alright, I'm going to start on the upper receiver. I'm going to start with the chamber, using this chamber brush right here. The last thing I'm going to do is the barrel. I'm going to let that CLP sit in that barrel a little longer. This stuff's been sitting for, I don't know, 5 minutes or so. So I'm just going to run that chamber brush back and forth and clean that chamber up. And then we'll wipe that out. And then this little brush right here is good to get all down into that upper receiver and get all that crap brushed out. We'll brush this bolt carrier group down. This is just old brass wire brush. I can't hardly say that. That's about like, there's another word I can't say. Peculiar.
Peculiar brass wire.
I cannot say peculiar. But this is just the old brush I bought from a auto parts store. That's all that is. Now I'm gonna go ahead and take this brass scraper right here and get as much of that carbon as I can off of that bolt. Another thing that you want to do, these gas rings right here, you see how they've got them little notches in them? You never want all them notches to be in line, so you want to just check and make sure that those notches in those gas rings are offset. Now, there ain't no easy way to get all that crap out of there other than take your dry rag and just put your finger down in there and wipe out all up inside that upper receiver. The hardest part to get your rag into is that little groove down in there where your charging handle rides. So I usually just take something and press my rag down in there and run it back and forth. Now in the Navy, when we cleaned our weapons and we went to turn them in, we'd think we'd have them all nice and clean. We'd take them to the gunner's mates and they'd stick their finger down in that chamber there, and if any black came out, they'd send it back to us. It's almost impossible to get all that dang black out of there because you can't hardly get your finger down in there. I'm gonna run clean, dry patches through the barrel until they come out clean. It's going to take a lot. It's going to take a lot of patches. For the sake of time, we're not going to do that for this video until they come out clean. I'll do that later. But I'm just going to run these things through the barrel until they come out clean. See how much freaking nasty crap's on that. I'm going to blow this thing out. Matter of fact, I'm going to blow all this crap out. Compressed air is nice, especially on these long receivers. So if I clean this up with some solvent or something, I'd take a couple of drops of lube. I would lubricate this whole bolt, everything forward of these gas rings. I wouldn't lube back here on the gas rings or behind the gas rings, all right? Put this jewel back in. Now y'all know this has got flat sides to it. See that flat edge right there? When you push that in, you want it to go on the flat, and then you want to rotate it like that to where that little nipple right there is sitting on a round edge and not a flat edge, all right? All right, now once we get this thing put back together, we're gonna do a function check. So we'll charge the weapon, put the weapon on safe, make sure the safety works, go off safe. We're gonna pull the trigger, charge the weapon, and then listen for the trigger reset. All right, the trigger reset, we're good to go. That's all your function check is. Anytime you take a weapon apart and clean it, always do that function check when you put it back together, just to make sure everything's good to go. So there's your tips on cleaning a rifle. I'm good with this. It's gonna work just fine. If it gets a little dirty next time I'm shooting it and I don't want to take the whole thing apart and clean it, all I'm gonna do is drop a couple of drops of CLP down those two little holes there in the bolt carrier group to lubricate the bolt. I'm good to go. Thank you guys for tuning in. Nuff said.